Hello, everybody. We are here today for a sort of emergency live. My hair is wet. My eye has a little bit of irritation, so it's swollen, but we're here anyway. Thank y'all for taking the time to come. As you have seen probably from the title and the thumbnail and the banner, we will be reading emails between members of the Free Britney movement, people who claim to be members of the Free Britney movement, but we don't know, and congressional aides. So I do have 3 different sets of emails. I actually have many sets of emails because now I've been sent emails from different people, and I'm going to do my best to keep the transparency to the maximum. There's probably going to be stuff I'm going to miss just because, like, if I went over every single email thread, we would be reading the same emails over and over. So I wanted to come here live, tell y'all what I know now, and then if there's a way to put this in a more palatable, accessible way, I will be doing that. I did make very wholehearted attempts to cross out and block out people's personal information who are not members of Congress and who are not trying to be world leaders or whatever it is. So if I missed any of that, I'm going to go back through it and make sure I didn't. And then I will go ahead and just make these emails public in PDF form on my Google Drive. So now that we got all that out of the way, I do have one more piece of housekeeping. Apparently, Matthew Rosengart, according to Noted Your Honor on Twitter, who y'all know I love and adore, apparently Matthew Rosengart has filed new documents in Britney Spears' case. I'm looking at the website literally right now, and nothing is up on my end. So after this video, if it is the case that something is up, I'll just go ahead and go live on that too. I have a couple other things to do today, but all of that will be being addressed as well. Okay, cool. Now that we did that 2-minute intro, let's just, as the kids say, jump right into it. I am a little bit nervous because I just feel like, society and everything has kind of made us feel like this type of stuff needs to be kept secret. But when you really think about it, that is not the purpose of democracy. And it's not the purpose of Congress. Congress works for us. Congress works for us. And so we deserve to see what they are doing behind our backs with our money. Okay. Excuse me. Hello, everyone. We have Brazil here, France here, England here. Hello. UK, hey, British Columbia. Sorry. I have something in my throat. Sorry. Okay. So I'm going to share the screen with y'all now. And here we go. Okay. Hopefully one of my little moderators is here so we can just go through this. Okay. So this is the bottom of the email, right? So as you can see, this is from July 2nd. Now, this is where, Meg Radford would have been added in. So I guess let's just start up here because this is how I would have received this email. Okay. So thank you so much, Mona. So nice for the super sticker. Okay. So the people that y'all need to be aware of in this email chain are going to be Lisa McCarley, Rick Black, who is the leader of a conservatorship nonprofit called CEAR based out of North Carolina. He has, oh yeah, let me make CH a moderator real quick. Cool. Thanks, CH. Great. Okay. So we have Rick Black, who is the one who seems, in my opinion, and y'all form your own opinions. You're going to see this with your own eyes. Don't take my word for it. You know what I mean? It looks to me as if Rick Black was working with Virginia Poe, who is Charlie Crist's congressional aide. Charlie Crist is a congressman, a state representative from Florida. Now, Charlie Crist's jurisdiction that his district, as it were, is a bunch of old retired people. Okay. So it's my opinion, Charlie Crist cares about this issue because there's a lot of money for him and his constituents to make off of this. And he's been working with Rick Black since 2018, which you will see in this email. Okay. So at this time, July 8th, we have Lisa is being asked by Charlie Crist's aide, Virginia Poe. Thank you so much, Cassie, to give a quote in support of their free act. Now we'll get into what all this means, but look, we're just jumping into where I had to jump in right here. Okay. So Lisa is saying, I can give you a quote if you want, Lisa actually doesn't act too out of line in these emails, if you're asking me. So you have Virginia Poe on July 7th saying, "Hi, Rick and Lisa. Circling back on this, Rick, I gave you a call a few minutes ago." So this is July 7th. Now, we're going to meet a group called Free Britney America who's going to claim later on that they didn't meet Virginia Poe until July 14th. So I don't know if that's true or not, but certainly Rick and Lisa were in contact with her by July 7th, right? "Rick, I gave you a call a few minutes ago. Can you ring me?" And that's her number. I'm not going to blur out her information because she is a federal employee and a public servant. And so her information is not private unless she's given her personal cell phone out, which Virginia, you should not be doing that. All right. Then we have, the email title is Free Britney Connection. Okay. "Thank you for your input. I agree that training for judges in these states would provide immeasurable benefit." Okay, so now she's about to tell him why she can't do that. "As a federal entity, we have constitutional limits on what we can mandate the states to do. We are planning on doing a press conference and press release on Thursday." Remember, this was July 7th. How did I find these? They were sent to me. So they were just sent to me. And this is what happens when you send me stuff. So "Included in our release. Again, thank you for all your work on this. We are nearly there." Now, where are we nearly? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm learning this along with y'all. Then you have Rick Black sending to Virginia. "More to think about so this is all going backwards. Now we're on July 2nd. I just wanted to start it from where I started it, right? So as far back as July 2nd, we have, everybody talking to each other. Friday, we have Megan who's saying, "Thanks for this introduction, Rick. Virginia, it's nice to meet you." In my opinion, and y'all will be able to make your own opinion, but in my opinion, the Free Britney movement members actually did a good job here with what they were, with the information they were given. So you'll see this is only one of 3 sets we're looking at here. So what you'll see is on July 2nd, we have, who is it? Rick calling the people up here, the Free Britney leadership team. And he's saying, "Virginia," thank you so much, Gretchen. "Virginia," this is Rick to the quote, "Free Britney leadership team," and who he calls the Free Britney leadership team. And you'll see why he says that later. But right now he's calling that to be Kevin, Leanne, Meg, Tess, and Babs, which I wouldn't agree. As far as the outside world of the Free Britney movement is concerned, or I wouldn't disagree. As far as the people outside the Free Britney movement are concerned, no matter what your own personal opinions of it is, these are people who would be considered leaders in the Free Britney movement from the documentaries and the podcasts and stuff. No matter what your personal opinion is, I could see why these are the people who were given to Congress as the leaders of the Free Britney movement. But you'll see what happens after this. Thank you so much, Gretchen. So Charlie Crist, Florida, CEAR, has been working on legislation with Charlie. So CEAR is Rick Black's organization. And he says they've been working on legislation with Charlie's team since 2018. But that's a problem because CEAR was not actually even incorporated in the state of North Carolina until 2019. So it begs the question to me why CEAR was doing anything before it was incorporated, and why in particular a nonprofit was working on legislation whenever nonprofits are not really supposed to be lobbying. There's a whole separate type of nonprofit you have to be in order to do that. Okay. And he's saying to help bring more federal oversight to the adult conservatorship and guardianship system. This is Rick Black talking to the Free Britney leadership team on July 2nd. Okay, this is only a couple weeks after Britney spoke the first time. Then he goes on to say, just this week, we got the draft copy of the proposed bill. And he says, you have the copy, and Charlie's team would like to name it the Free Britney Act. CEAR is fully behind what Charlie has proposed in the bill. Again, this is, in my opinion, this is improper lobbying. Why are you talking about a federal bill and trying to get a global socio-political movement to back the bill and put our name on it? That's just a question I need to know. Are you even allowed to be doing that? It is only a start, he says, but it sends the right message. And I kind of just disagree with that because it doesn't send the right message. The message that the Free Act sends is that we need to federally fund conservatorships. And that's just not true. And so maybe it sends the right message for CEAR, but it does not send the right message for the Free Britney movement, because our goal, if we have one goal, is to free Britney, and this act would not do that. If you are unsure or unclear onto how it would not do that, then please do check out my line by line reading of the act, because I have a video up doing that. It will also likely be strengthened given the bipartisan support and mandates we are seeing in Washington thanks to Britney's testimony last week. We'll talk more in a couple hours. Okay, so this is why it all started. On July 2nd, Virginia Poe says to Rick Black, "Hey, Rick," on the call earlier this week. So this is July 2nd. So that tells me Rick Black's been working with Virginia Poe on this law since way before July 14th. Okay. Hey, Rick, Virginia Poe, this is the congressional aide. On the call earlier this week, you mentioned you had connections with the Free Britney folks out in LA. Would it be possible for you to connect me with them? Thanks. Okay, so that's July 2nd. And then he does so, right? Absolutely. Now he's saying, hey, Free Britney leadership team, here's all that stuff we just read, right? And then here's Meg. I can imagine, and I've not spoken to Meg about this, but I can imagine she received this email and she's like, oh, this is cool, right? Like Congress is on an email for an act, like they want to call it the Free Britney Act. So she kind of just says, thanks for the intro. It's nice to meet you. So Meg doesn't make any statement. She doesn't make any comments. She just says, thanks for the intro, like waiting for someone else to say what exactly they want from her, right? Because Virginia just says, can you introduce us? So Meg's just sitting there. Again, I have not talked to Meg about this at all. This particular email thread right here. Okay, so then we have Virginia Poe responding. Rick, endless thanks for the introduction. And then she addresses Meg, Kevin, Leanne, Babs, and Tess. It is very nice to meet you, and that is such an exciting time for the cause. I want y'all to notice and really analyze and critically think about Virginia's language as well, because a lot of it is super ambiguous. Like it sounds like something good, but just watch what it actually like doesn't really mean anything. So then she goes, it's nice to meet you. It's such an exciting time for the cause. Which cause? We really don't know, right? It's just words, just buzzwords they like to use. We've adjusted the title of the bill, and y'all are going to be mad at this. We've adjusted the title of the bill to be the FREE Act, Freedom and Right to Emancipate from Exploitation Act. To convey, why did she change it? To convey a little more seriousness in the halls of Congress. What? Don't worry. I do end up responding to these emails, y'all. That's the big cliffhanger at the end. And we're going to definitely read together my response to all of this. So don't worry. I definitely said something. Don't you worry. But Virginia's saying Free Britney Act is not a serious enough name for Congress. So she wants to go on ahead and name it the Free Act. And then she says, but publicly, AKA in the media, we will be referring to it as the Free Britney Act. Why? It's serious enough for you to publicly refer to as Free Britney and use our clout and our work and our labor so that you can get the votes you need. But in the buildings of Congress, you're not going to call it the Free Britney Act because it's not serious enough. That just doesn't sound nice to me. And I'm not going to allow them to get away with it. And I don't worry. Publicly, we'll be referring it to as the Free Britney Act. Below, I've included our summary of the legislation. So she didn't include the legislation, right? She's including her interpretation of it. So she's not saying, here's the act. You read it and you tell me the problem. She's saying, here's my interpretation of it so that I can try and trick y'all into supporting it and letting us use your movement to get our pro-conservatorship bill through, right? So I've included our summary of the legislation, but she didn't include the legislation. Oh, just kidding. She did. Nope. Look, I'll take it back when I say something wrong. She did also attach the draft copy. Okay, so I was wrong about that. We have secured. So she attached her draft copy, but she also attached her interpretation of it, right? Hoping that nobody interprets it a different way, I'm assuming. Also, this girl, after I did send my email, when I finally did get these emails and I sent a response to all this, Virginia Poe followed me on Twitter, and then now she doesn't follow me anymore. But I'm kind of like, well, girl, why are you so obsessed with me? Like, what are you following me for? That was kind of weird. Was it supposed to be intimidating? I was a little intimidating, so I don't know. Anyway. Below included our summary, attached a draft copy, and we have secured Congresswoman Nancy Mace as our Republican co-lead. So that goes ahead and tells me. So tonight, Nancy Mace is going to be on someone's Instagram Live talking about how she got involved in the Free Britney movement. And first of all, she's not involved in the Free Britney movement. I've never seen her do anything for the Free Britney movement. But second of all, this is how she got involved. Virginia Poe secured her as a Republican co-lead. So this is how the sausage is made, America. This is how laws are made in the United States of America. This is how they are made. People just secure other people to put their names on things to pass through bad legislation. That is how it works. How it works. I would be extremely grateful if you would review the proposal, and I welcome any feedback. We'll see how welcome she is to feedback down in a few threads down. Thank you so much for all the work you have put into this already, and I hope that we can work together on this next step. Yours, Virginia. Again, listen, if I had just received this email out of nowhere, I would probably be like, this is cool, right? Like, it looks good. Looks like she's trying to get us involved, right? Look, I'm not on this email thread, but if I had received it at that time on July 2nd, I think I would have thought this was really cool. So at this point, I can't really blame, Meg and Kevin and Leanne and Babs and Tess for not like close reading this thing. They didn't put me on it. And I'm assuming the reason they didn't put me on it is either because I'm not in LA, because LA group, I'm not in there, right? Or maybe they knew I was going to read it and have something to say about it. But I don't know. Like, all of the people on this email thread are also very smart and can read. So we'll see how it goes. So we'll just briefly go through how she's trying to sell her legislation to the leaders of the Free Britney movement. And listen, again, I don't want this to turn into who's a leader and who's not a leader. You'll see why I'm calling them that in a minute, because they are referred to that in this email chain. But as far as Virginia Poe is concerned, she believes, because Rick Black introduced this team to her, that she's talking to the leaders of the Free Britney movement. That's what she believes, right? So she starts with some problems and then going to give background and solution and how the act is going to help or whatever, right? Okay. First problem, seniors, disabled people, and even Britney are being victimized by fraudsters and abusers taking advantage of loopholes within the patchwork of the state guardianship and conservatorship laws. True. That is true. If a judge deems a person incapacitated, that person can have some or all of their rights transferred to a guardian or conservator. Under resource state human services agencies often lack the capacity to expeditiously provide persons being brought under guardianship a public guardian, and will instead assign them a private guardian. So now they're trying to tell me private guardians are the real problem and public guardians are going to save the day. Sounds like propaganda, but let's go on. To manage their affairs and make significant decisions about housing, healthcare, asset management, and so on. While it is true that an assigned guardian can provide family members peace of mind when tasked with caring for an incapacitated loved one, the capacity for fraud and abuse in the system can produce terrifying and lethal results. Picture this nightmare scenario. An unscrupulous guardian coordinates with an elderly person's doctor to have them declared incapacitated without that senior even setting foot in a courtroom. The guardian transfers the senior to a locked care facility, prevents them from making outside contact with family, friends, or a lawyer, seizes their accounts, sells off their assets. Also, the guardian can pay themselves for their care. The guardian is now responsible for medical decisions, including filing do not resuscitate orders, ordering or foregoing cancer treatment, forced sterilization in Miss Spears' case. Well, not quite. Britney was not sterilized, but it was her reproductive choices are being controlled. Forced sterilization means that you can never have kids again. What food they eat and what medicines they take, this happens all the time. And then they have some examples. The guardian has all the legal rights unless a family member or person under guardianship can prove misconduct before the judge that ordered the guardianship or conservatorship. The person under guardianship is trapped, free one day, in prison the next. Okay. She's not wrong. She's not wrong. But listen to their solution. The Free Britney Act. See, they still haven't really gotten it together. Is it the Free Britney Act? Is it the Free Act? What is it? Y'all just trying to use our name for clout and a bad law, but what is it? So she's saying it would provide an escape hatch. Under the proposal, all Americans would retain their right to petition the judge to, okay, this is what they would do. Americans would retain, if we already have a right to do something, then we don't need a law to do it. So I'm not really sure how this, retain is a weird word to use here. Their right to petition the judge to replace a private guardian, so like a Jody Montgomery type, with a public guardian, so like a Sam Ingham type. Y'all think it would have helped to replace Jody with a state appointed conservator? Do y'all really think that would have helped? Or is probably the problem that there's no accountability, no oversight, no consequences? There was a violation of the Constitution, right? Y'all know, you see what I'm saying? Additionally, each person under the guardianship would be provided an independent caseworker. More red tape, more people who don't care if you live or die. who would have unfettered access to monitor for signs of abuse or neglect and inform them of their right to have a private guardian or conservator replaced. Again, you're already supposed to be informed of that right. So if people aren't doing that now, then they need to face accountability. Okay. This bill would provide states grants to establish the caseworker program. Okay. This bill would provide states dollars, federal taxpayers' money to hire more Sam Ingham types to be caseworkers, right? Sick of the bullying. There are no leaders and bullies don't represent me. Who is this? Okay, whatever. If I don't represent you, Shaylee, you're welcome to leave. Bye. The bill would provide states grants to establish, okay, finally, states would be required to report annually key statistics. And here it is. The government can collect your data. So there's all kind of data the government already collects on us. And now they want to do it even more through, federal funding. How does this free Britney? It doesn't. That's how it frees Britney. But she says, under this bill, Britney would be able to petition the court to replace Jamie with a state conservator without having to prove misconduct or abuse. Britney said she wants out of this conservatorship, Virginia. She didn't say she wants. Oh my God, I'm so annoyed. Okay, honestly, bye. Okay. Cool. Misleading. Exactly, Megan Quinn. Like this is all this, but this is what happens when a whistleblower comes out, me, and tries to tell the truth about what's going on in our government. Then people start the rumor mill. People start assassinating the character of the whistleblower. And you saw that happen with Edward Snowden, which obviously what he was exposing was a way bigger, conspiracy or whatever. You see it happen with, Chelsea Manning. You see it happen where people are trying to assassinate the character of the person who is doing the whistleblowing. And that's what you do see Shaylee LaDuve doing right now, trying to make me afraid, right? Has receipts on me. And this is how Washington, D.C. operates. They go and collect data on you through infiltration, through hacking, and then they try to scare you. And I'm not going to be scared because I haven't done anything wrong. So come with your receipts, sweetheart. Okay, how does this free Britney? Under this bill, Britney could petition to replace Jamie. That's pretty weird because she said she wants out. So how would this free Britney? She said, oh, it would free Britney from Jamie Spears. Oh, really? Would it? Is that what your big free act is all about? Okay. So this is the big crescendo. It would free her from Jamie Spears. So we want to use your movement's name in order to pass this act that would not actually free Britney in any way. Like what? Okay. All of the widely reported instances of, something she's been trying to do for years. Again, no, she hasn't. She's been trying to get out of the conservatorship for years. And this is just more of that media twist without requiring her to prove that she doesn't need a conservator or that Jamie is breaking the law. Why do you trust public guardians over private guardians? All of the widely reported instances of terrifying fraud and abuse take place within private guardianship. Private guardians can face conflicts of interest. Okay. Did Sam Ingham not have a conflict of interest? He's a public attorney, right? This is what it would be. Like, what are you talking about? These caseworkers, these proposed caseworkers would not even have a job if it weren't for federally funded conservatorships. And so they also have a conflict of interest. But you see here, when Virginia is emailing the Free Britney group, she's not mentioning that. She's only giving a very one-sided, opinion here. Okay, let me just go ahead and hide this bad energy. Okay. Yeah, okay. So I took it off. Okay. So now she's saying, why not blow the whole system up? And this, again, is a little bit of a manipulative tactic. We're not saying blow the system up. Like, do you see how that makes it seem like we want something that's really violent and scary, blowing things up? Oh my God, these radical people blowing up. But that's how they would like to characterize us, right? Like, why don't we just do away with this whole thing? She says that the bill leaves as much to the states as possible. State guardianship laws and regulations exist for a reason, so they're telling on themselves. It's a complicated issue. It's really not complicated, y'all. They take people who don't need to be in guardianships, put them in guardianships, and then steal their property, their money, and their freedom. That's the big complicated scheme. That's it. I mean, that's it. They take your liberties, they take your freedoms. They do so with the help of the police, the state, the courts, sometimes your family members, depending on if they don't really like you that much. And now you don't have any rights and you don't have any of the property and any of the money that you worked your whole life for. And that's the complicated scheme. It's really not that complicated. It's all of them working together to steal, abuse, exploit, and traffic. That's what it's all about. So it's really not complicated. Free Britney Act would take the extraordinary step of preempting state laws, regulations, and court judgments simply to provide a very limited escape hatch for individual vulnerable abuse. You can preempt the state laws of what? Like, this is just a bunch of words that unless you've gone to law school and you know what you're reading, it just kind of like sounds like fancy words and some fancy person like knows what they're talking about. But she doesn't. What is that? Preempt the state laws? How? Limited escape hatch? No, it wouldn't. The escape hatch is to go tell someone else that you're being abused, and maybe they can let you out, or maybe they just send you back to your abuser. There really is no escape hatch in the Free Britney Act. It's a $260 million Trojan horse to allow for federally funded conservatorships, and it needs to be completely axed, abolished, scratched, and start over from a perspective of an actual disabled person who is actually going to face these actual laws. No more conservatorship lobby can just drop laws on the desk while we have something to say about it. Okay. So let's see what else we have here. So she kind of sends that. And again, if you haven't been to law school and you're not like looking to be suspicious, then all this stuff kind of doesn't actually look that bad, right? And then here you did have Lisa who, you know, no matter your feelings on Lisa, I can tell you she gave some good suggestions. But again, like nobody really listened to her. Virginia was kind of like, oh yeah, like that would be cool, but like we don't really have that power, right? And then that's it. So, but you do see Virginia here trying to get quotes from Rick Black, quotes from who she refers to as the Free Britney leadership team, right? Hi, just circling back. Please give me a ring when you get a chance, right? This is all a week before, you know, Free Britney America ever alleged to be meeting, just so happened to meet Virginia Poe at this Free Britney America rally. So then that begs the question, if Free Britney America didn't meet Virginia Poe until July 14th, yet all these emails exist between Rick Black and Virginia Poe, was Rick Black the one who introduced Virginia Poe and the Free Britney America group, or were they working together already? Now, let's go to the next. So this one is going to be some of the same similar type of emails, I think. Let me see. Just going to try and share my screen with y'all really quick. Okay. So the other one, before I get on that, the other emails we just read were all from July 2nd to July 8th, or July 7th. Now, it is important to note, Free Britney America's website was formed on July 8th. I have receipts for that. And their first Instagram account was also formed on July 8th. Now, they have since deleted that Instagram account and made a new one, perhaps to throw off the timeline of everything. But I do have receipts. So, we also learned from Chris, a good point. We learned from Chris that the media does plant commenters to sway the narrative. Now, Chris saw that in a case he worked on. So it's not a conspiracy theory. It's something that has happened. Rosengart also did just file. Rick Black from CEAR on Twitter. Yeah. Okay. So Axe the Free Act. Exactly. Okay. So the email that we're about to read, this email thread, is going to be from about July 19th. Now, if y'all remember, July 19th was whenever Good Morning America said that there's a new Free Britney Act in Congress, and the Free Britney Act is going to free Britney. And it's all about these mean family members and these private fiduciaries, and we need something else, right? So the media was already beginning to craft the narrative that the issue was family members and private guardians. And I'm assuming that this FREE Act is the reason they were crafting that narrative, because it's allowing daddy government to step in and take your family member away from you if daddy government says that, they think they could do a better job, right? So that's what these emails are all around about that day. Now, they're going to have a press conference on like the 20th or the 21st, July 20th or July 21st. So these emails are kind of all dealing with, I'm about to show them on the screen right now. I'm just kind of giving you all the context. These emails are all going to be dealing with that press conference and the release of the Free Britney Act to the public. Now, again, remember, Virginia told us it's not called the Free Britney Act. It's not serious enough. Remember, it's just not serious enough in the halls of Congress. So we are going to need to call it the Free Act. But if we don't call it the Free Act, but if we call it the Free Act in Congress, we call it the Free Britney Act publicly, but we're going to call it the Free Act in Congress because it's not serious enough. So remember, Virginia told us that that's what she was going to be doing, right? Okay. Thank you so much, Kale. Love you too. ProPublica dropped an article about this as well, HM. Did not know that, but will definitely, oops. Sorry, I always do the wrong thing. Here. I definitely will be reading it. Thank you so much, Nasib. Daddy. Thank you. So ProPublica dropped an article about this as well. HM or anyone, if y'all could, after this video is over, just leave it in the comments so people can go and read it. That would be great. Thank you. Netflix has a movie about this called I Care a Lot. Yeah. Y'all go watch I Care a Lot. Okay. So now I'm going to share the screen with y'all. Okay. So the title of this email chain is called Quotes in Support of Florida Congressman Charlie Crist's Free Act Bill. So they're already kind of calling it the Free Act Bill, the Free Britney Act. It's being called all kinds of different things, and it's very confusing. Let's see. This is July 19th. Let me just scroll through here. July 16th. Okay. So just July 9th. Who is this? Rick Black, Lisa and Free Britney team attached. So it wasn't until July 9th he actually sends out the copy of the bill. Thank you so much, Megan. Thank you so much, MM. Keep questioning the system. Oh, I will, Megan. Don't you worry. I'm scared of these nameless, faceless people on the internet. Come on for a debate, girl. Let's go. Okay. Attached is the final draft copy of the Free Act. Chris' team is looking for a quote from Lisa and the hashtag Free Britney team. Feel free to respond directly to Virginia Post. She needs something today. Okay, so Rick Black gives them 1 day to give a quote to Congress. Legislation is always a work in progress. So he's already setting us up to be disappointed. This bill incorporates many of the basic accountabilities we wanted to see. Who's we? Again, anytime you see the word we, ask who they're talking about. Who's we? He's trying to make it seem like, oh, it includes things that we, the Free Britney people, asked for, but it could be just him and Terry, his wife. I don't know who we is. We wanted to see between the states and the federal government. It's a good start after 40 years of frustration at oversight. Okay, remember again, Rick Black just started CEAR in 2019. So I don't know what in the heck he's talking about this 40 years is about. I really don't know. It also creates funding to drive the accountability. Again, this is a lie. I'm sorry. There's no way to call this anything other than a lie. There's nothing in this bill. There is nothing in this bill that is accountability. And in fact, my most recent little video on Instagram Live, the little 30, 60-second one, shows that the Congress people actually explicitly, Charlie Crist and Nancy Mace explicitly said there's nothing in this bill that would provide for accountability or criminal charges to people that are abusing conservatives. So Rick is literally lobbying for this bill, basically misleading the Free Britney team or whatever he's calling it, and saying, oh, this is what we asked for. This is a work in progress. It incorporates what we wanted to see. It's a good start. It creates funding for accountability. And that none of that is true. It's a bad start. It's going to make it worse. Here was CEAR's quote. Again, you're lobbying. Very encouraged that the changes the Free Act will bring about if made federal law. Now, remember, if y'all are unaware, Charlie Crist is running for governor of Florida right now. So he's trying to get his name out into the media. And so also remember to question stuff like that. If a young, vibrant, wealthy celebrity like Britney Spears can be exploited by a court system, anyone can. And isn't that why all these people want to get in on it now? You know what I mean? Thank you, Nasib. Nasibe. If a young, exactly, right? Like, I'm just tired of being lied to. Everything is just a lie. I'm tired of it. And I know Lisa McCarley gets mad at me whenever I call other lawyers liars and other professionals liars. But I'm just so sorry. I'm allergic to lies. It's like my biggest allergy. That's probably why my nose starts itching when I'm over here, because it's not this microphone I'm allergic to. It's the lies. Just stop lying. Her lawyer, yes, I am going to go live again about Britney's court documents. Yes, I will. But I do want to get through this so that it is out there. But I will be going live on Britney's court documents as well. Congress is pronounced evil. Exactly. And y'all are going to really, I hope that y'all like the email I sent back. I worked really hard on it. Okay. Okay. Most victims lack her voice. This is CEAR's quote. Most victims lack her voice, and too many vulnerable adults abused by predatory legal community who routinely leverage the dysfunction of our nation's equity court system to exploit the vulnerable, which is exactly what's happening with the FREE Act, to be honest. These county courts must have oversight, and we are encouraged with what the future may hold if the FREE Act becomes law. So again, CEAR in its capacity as a nonprofit is making very, very intense efforts to effect the outcome of legislation, which in my understanding and from my opinion, that's just not what you're allowed. You're not allowed to do that. And so in my opinion, I think that Rick Black is breaking the rules and needs to be reported to the IRS for inappropriate lobbying activity as the director of a nonprofit. Now, I did look into the nonprofit itself. It was only started in 2019, and apparently it doesn't make more than $50,000 a year, so we are unable to see its public filings. Maybe the IRS can change that rule and we can see the public filings. Okay, so again, here we go. This is from Kevin Wu, and he actually submitted a quote about the FREE Act, covering up those email addresses. Sorry. Britney Spears' constitutional rights were violated when a dysfunctional court system placed her under a conservatorship, one that has endured for 13 years due to conflicts of interest, afflicting those tasked with acting in her best interest. Not wrong. Britney is not alone. Her case exemplifies rampant abuses affecting thousands of elderly and disabled Americans. The Free Britney movement is hopeful that federal legislation proposed by Congressman Christ will serve as an important first step toward addressing this injustice. Again, like, y'all can come up with your own opinions. We don't have to agree, but I don't think there's anything wrong with the way that Kevin and Meg have acted during this email chain so far. Because unless you really know what you're really looking at, it's easy to get the wool pulled over your eyes and think that these people are really trying to help you. Again, please, your opinion is your opinion. Come up with your own, but that really is what I think. Okay, now look what this girl said. Virginia then said on July 13th, one day before Britney's, y'all remember the second time she spoke on July 14th? I was there in the court. This is the day before that. So I was traveling this day. Now, these are the emails I think I finally did get looped in on. But I didn't see it because I was traveling. So then we have Virginia saying, Rick, thank you so much for connecting me with these folks and helping secure these quotes. It's a big deal. And then y'all see what I wrote up there in red. Yeah, they need us for their media narrative, so it is a big deal. Wanted to let you know we are planning on introducing the bill and doing a press release on Tuesday of next week. I'll keep you in the loop on the details. I know this is a huge ask, and Britney is a very private person, but is there any way we could let her know we are planning on doing this and even possibly have her participate in our press conference or supply a quote? You are a miracle worker, Rick. If anyone could help us pull this off, it would be you. Y'all, they asked Rick Black to get Britney Spears to come to their FREE Act press conference. And good, like, can you get her to give us a quote for our FREE Act? That would not free her at all. Y'all, like, when I saw this, that's whenever I was like, these people are out of control. These people are absolutely out of control, and they have no idea what Britney's going through. Because if you paid attention to Britney's case for longer than 15 seconds, you would know there's nobody that's going to be able to get her to give you a freaking quote. She can't even get the police can't even get to her. How are we going to get to her? The conference already happened. It was July like 19th or 20th, right? But Nancy Mace and Charlie Crist are going to appear on an Instagram Live tonight on Free Britney America's Instagram Live. Now, I'm blocked from following that account because of my questionings, but we do have, y'all can go and ask them questions yourselves on that live tonight. It is an event that I understand is open to the public. All right. So then we have Rick, who finally feels like, oh shoot, let me call Kevin in. Let me loop in Kevin. Hey, thanks for pushing this bill forward. Will created the needed buzz. So here you have Rick Black acknowledging that we need buzz for this free act. So thanks for pushing it forward. On your huge ask, this is Rick talking to Virginia. Nobody has gained access to Britney, including the New York Times team that did their wonderful documentary framing Britney Spears. She is being completely isolated and fully controlled by the benefiting handlers. If anyone can help, Kevin can. And again, if y'all had actually done any research on this, none of us can get in touch with Britney Spears. How delusional. Okay, then you have the next day, Rick, so fantastic to see you today. So that's where they allegedly met at the rally. But they've been talking since July 2nd at least. So that doesn't really add up, does it? Quick question. Oh, what a great event. The turnout was impressive. Quick question. The below quote, we are attributing it to Lisa McCarley, correct? I know she's a probate attorney with the Free Britney leadership team. Again, who is that? Who is the Free Britney leadership team? Rick just decided. I don't know. But I was wondering how we should attribute the quote. And then there's the quote here, right? Okay. Additionally, do you think Lisa would be interested in participating in our press conference on Tuesday? Again, we need more PR. We need more free press. Virginia, now this is Rick Black. Lisa would be happy to help and comment. The reference is correct. Lisa founded the nonprofit Betty's Hope in honor of 2 conservatorship victims she was unable to save. Fantastic. You are the best. Thank you so much for helping us. I'm looping in our press secretary, Grace, CC'd on this email. Can't wait till Tuesday. Yay. Hi, Lisa. Thanks so much for being willing to help us. I want to confirm you're open to speaking at our virtual press conference this Tuesday at 10 a.m. And she said, I'm honored to do so. I assume it's 7 a.m. Pacific. And again, look, this is all titled Florida Congressman Charlie Crist Free Act Bill. Now, y'all remember, Virginia asked Rick on July 2nd to introduce him to the Free Britney people in LA. He introduced them to Meg, Leanne, Kevin, Tess, and Babs. Okay. So Virginia's already been introduced. She's already at this point been introduced to Virginia as far as Virginia knows, that is the Free Britney leadership team. Because again, they called them that. Free Britney leadership team. Below quote, attributing to Lisa, Free Britney leadership team. Okay. So she thinks Lisa's in the Free Britney leadership team, and so are these LA people, right? But then when you get up to her first agenda, no pun intended, of her press conference, I will provide more details as it gets closer. The panelists and Zoom link will be emailed to you, but likely the run of show will be Virginia Poe herself introducing the press conference and providing an overview of the Free Act. Then Congressman Crist, who's running for governor, then Mace, who they secured as the Republican co-lead, Lisa McCarley, who we just saw how they got her involved, and then Rick Black, interestingly, why he ain't talking. He did all this coordination behind the scenes and now he's not going to be talking? That's weird. Is it possible that he knows Lisa's going to say what he wants her to say? Why isn't he talking if he did all this work? Maybe he doesn't want to know people like him or behind this. I don't know. I really don't know. It's a completely rhetorical question. I'll get to that. Remind me of this question because I do want to get to it. Because I do have a couple, but I want to finish this out first. Okay. So now they're saying tentatively they're going to have this girl, Cassandra Dumas, leader of Free Britney America. What the heck? Right? They don't say of an Instagram group. They don't say of, an Instagram group that was just started on July 8th, right? And Free Britney America started on July 8th. Cassandra Dumas tweeted about Free Britney for the first time ever, 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 ever from her personal account on June 25th, 2021. So where was she before? And why did she just all of a sudden come and just exist? Poof, there she is talking for the leader of Free Britney America. Like, do you see how it kind of looks a little bit like she's being postured to be the leader of the Free Britney movement, despite the fact that Virginia knows for a fact she is not? Okay. And then there's a press Q&A. Okay. Fantastic. Thanks so much. And now this is to Lisa from Grace Wright, the press secretary. We're hoping you can talk from your permission. From your position as a California probate lawyer, the need for changes in conservatorship laws and how legally the Free Act helps accomplish these changes. So see, they're trying to get people involved in the Free Britney movement to kind of say, look, here's how the Free Act would apply to Britney's situation. But the unfortunate reality for the lobbyists and the drafters of this bill is that it wouldn't help Britney at all. It would actually probably make Britney's situation worse. But they wanted to basically use Lisa and her good faith with the Free Britney movement and all of that in order to make us think that this law or this bill was going to actually help her. And so Lisa's basically saying, yeah, like, I'll do it. Like, I'll, whatever. But I don't think she really fully knows. Like, I think Lisa maybe given the, I don't know, benefit of the doubt. Now she's saying, we would also like a quote from you for your support of the Free Act to add to our press packet. Do y'all know what a press packet is? She wants to add it to her press packet so she can send it out to all the media so the media can do this propaganda to make us think the Free Act is good, right? It's Britney, it's Free Britney Act. Yay, hashtag Free Britney in the news, press packet. But like, girl, like, why we need a press packet for an act? Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It is weird. I saw that you sent us a quote a while back, but you wanted it attributed to 3 other individuals. Could you send us one we can attribute to you? And then she sends her quote, and then she says, it's an honor to support Congressman Christ's legislation. Okay. So now they have, what's her name? Grace has sent an updated run of the show. Now we do have Rick Black. He's done wormed his way in because he's not going to be able to stay behind the camera. He got to be on the camera. He got to have his name mentioned, Mr. CEAR Justice. So now he's going to be talking. Can't let Lisa talk without Rick. And Cassandra is no longer tentative. So again, just on July 8th, Cassandra was forming groups, making websites, making Instagrams. Like, she really hit the ground running. She just so happens to also have just stopped working at her job and she's starting a new job. I don't really know what's going on with that. Okay. And then we have a new updated thing. Now it's happening at 9:30. Anything change? Yeah, again, co-founder and spokesperson of Free Britney America. And it's my opinion that they're basically trying to infiltrate the movement in order to basically divide it up into chapters. So it's like there's no real leader of the Free Britney movement. So they don't have to deal with people like me who are going to be like, your law is bad. You can't use our name. It's like, oh no, let's do the Free Britney America and Free Britney this state and Free Britney that state and Free Britney this state. And if you look at it, a lot of those groups were started in July 2021. And I really think it is to divide our movement up to be like, oh, those people on the West Coast. Oh, those people on the East Coast. No. This is a bipartisan, global, socio-political movement. We do not need branches. We do not need chapters. We do not need 501c3 status. In fact, it will hold us back. So it's just real interesting that they're calling this Free Britney America. Oh, it's because Free Britney DC was taken. Okay, girl, we'll make your own solo account then, like the rest of us. Thank you, Gabby. Okay. Most don't background anything in a press packet. They take it as read because they're usually rushing through a few hundred words. Exactly, Gretchen. Okay. So this is fine. Appreciative of Congress members' efforts, probate reform. Do you have any sense of which stations will be in attendance? Okay. So then what happened was I start seeing so many news articles that say the Free Britney Act will free Britney. And I saw Charlie Crist make a press release on his own website that said, with the Free Britney Act, we're going to free Britney. And they just kept calling it the Free Britney Act. And I was like, this is not going to free Britney. And there were so many people that was so excited about it over and over again. And then I had like Free Britney America basically starting a slander campaign against me. There were people that were sending me very, very aggressive, threatening voice notes about how I'm not smart. I don't have any experience. I need to just take my little law degree and go away. Like all kinds of, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Black has tried to co-opt a Free Britney group into a CEAR chapter. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised either. Yes. Federalist Paper 10, keep the factions separate and fighting so people don't realize their true power. And that is what I'm not going to allow to happen. Yeah, I agree, Oracle. Okay, so now what we are going to be doing is finally venturing into what I had to say. Now, I will let y'all know it is long and all of that, but this email, I want to say, has been used against me, and people from the Free Britney America team have made reference to this email in ways that are untrue. And so I'm just about to Alexander Hamilton Reynolds papers, y'all, and just show you what I wrote and what I said. And then I'm going to make it available so that you can critically analyze and determine your own opinion. Okay. Okay. So a lot of this will actually end up being same as what we just read. Okay. But some of it will be different, and then we'll get to what I had to say. But basically, I was just very tired of seeing the Free Britney Act in the media. And I knew, and I saw that Virginia had said that she had this press packet. She was going to be referring to it as Free Britney Act publicly, and it wasn't serious enough to do it in Congress. And so that really made me mad. And on top of that, I was being threatened and harassed by, frankly, people I believe to be government infiltrators, political lobbyists, working for somebody else, definitely not here for freeing Britney. And so for those reasons, that's why I had my response. Okay. So the title of this is Free Britney Connection. Okay. This was July 2nd. Again, we're going all the way back to the beginning of that email chain. And again, you have Lisa kind of trying to tell them, listen, better or worse, you do have Lisa trying to tell them, here's the real problems. The judges get away with everything. The lawyers get away with everything, right? She's trying to tell them, it seems, right? These are the top 3 things she would say. Separate judges, lawyers, and money, a compliance department, and training everyone who appears in the courts. I agree. I mean, I cannot disagree. Oh, shoot. I'm not showing you on my screen. Sorry. Here. My bad. Here. These are the things she wants to change. Separate judges and lawyers, compliance department, train everyone who appears in the courts. I agree. I can't disagree. Then you have Rick sending this over to all these people who, I don't know who they are. Who's Phyllis Kelbach, Cyril Kelbach, Anthony Chicotel, Venus Giz. I don't know. Maybe these are good people. I don't know who these people are. But he's just like forwarding people's emails all over the place. Thank you, Nasib. No, they cannot stand me telling the truth. It hurts their feelings so bad. I know it just hurts them. I know. Well, what is done in the darkness surely shall come to the light. That's what they say. Okay, so then you have the same stuff we've already seen Virginia say, but just as a refresher, right? Like, we've adjusted the title to convey a little more seriousness in the halls of Congress, but publicly, aka in the media. Thank you, Gabby. Yes, fight the power. We will be referring to it as the Free Britney Act. Below, I have included our summary of the legislation, right? Y'all remember going through that. We already went through it, and I've attached a draft copy of the text. We have secured Congresswoman Nancy Mace as our Republican co-lead. Would be extremely grateful if you review the proposal, and I welcome any feedback. Thank you so much for all the work you have put into this already, and I hope you can work together on this next step. And then we've already gone through this, right? Again, we see, Rick, we've already seen all these, right? Rick is kind of saying, thanks to, here, this is, look what he calls them, Free Britney Leadership Team. So why, if Rick is acknowledging that these are the Free Britney leadership team, did Cassandra Dumas, who none of us ever heard of, who just popped out of nowhere up on July 8th, is going to be the person they put on the Congress press conference to say, we have leaders from the Free Britney movement here, when none of us even ever met her, right? Like, if Kevin, Leanne, Meg, Tess, or Babs would have been featured there, it wouldn't have been weird to me, because like, they were on documentaries, they have organized rallies, you know, they've at least been involved in the movement to an extent, like right there in LA. And it's like, okay, I understand why people would say they're leaders. But this Cassandra girl, we had the Free Britney leadership team is what she's calling. Look, we have Rick, dear Free Britney leadership team. So Virginia thinks that's the leader. So why is it this lobbyist group, for clearly the political operatives, are trying to be the ones that they put up in front? I don't know. I mean, if anybody has any suggestions, go ahead, take a shot every time he typed Free Britney leadership team while referring to this Cassandra. Well, he didn't, Mira. He never, ever referred to Cassandra as the Free Britney leadership team. She just appeared. And I do have other emails from like after all of this that I can go through later. I really just have to get it all in a flow that's like easy to like read. You know how the emails get all over the place. Exactly. Threats against me have been out of control. And I just want to let y'all know, I am not in any way intended upon harming myself. I am not depressed at this moment. I do not have any intentions of hurting myself, and I do not have any intentions of running away anywhere. So if anything happens to me, y'all need to start investigating. Please. Thank you. Again, CEAR is fully behind what Charlie has proposed in this bill. So if you see Rick Black on Twitter, he's saying, oh, everything has to start somewhere, and we can't have it perfect at the risk of better, blah, blah, whatever it is. And it's like, okay, but that's not what you said in this email. You said CEAR is fully behind the proposals in the bill. So pick a side and tell us the truth. Okay. Hey, Rick, call earlier this week. Right. And so this is where Virginia was trying to get Rick to introduce to the Free Britney folks in LA. Oops, the wrong way. Would it be possible for you to connect me with them? Okay. FYI, this is really the grab a minute what's going on. I could prove this all day. You should hear the dim-witted folks, the comments made by the judges. So again, Lisa's kind of saying like, this is really what's going on. Like, this is like bigger than just this. Thank you for your feedback. I'm happy to edit the text. Okay. So here's Rick adding his little edits, right? This still needs to be worked, which I agree with. I agree in general, the advent. So look, July 2nd, we have Rick giving all these feedbacks, but he's not really like necessarily, hold on. Yeah, he's CCing the Free Britney movement. So he's given a little bit of feedback, but he's saying that they're fully behind what Congressman Christ has said in his bill. So again, it's just kind of like pick a side. Again, we've already gone over this. How does this free Britney? Why do you trust public guardians over private guardians? Why not blow the whole system up? Hold on, let me move the cat. Hey, can you get down, please? Thank you. Okay. How is this constitutional? Okay. So again, we have Rick Black, Free Britney leadership team. Okay. All right. So here's what I had to say. I'm just read it to y'all. Hi, Virginia. Happy Monday. I hope you had an enjoyable weekend and that this email finds you well. I'm writing to settle the confusion that has arisen since last Monday when Good Morning America first referred to the proposed legislation as the Free Britney Act. I am heartened and grateful because on Twitter, they were all saying, y'all are being ungrateful. Y'all are being mean to Congress and they're not going to want to work with us anymore. Okay, good. I don't want them to try to trick us and use our movement for clout anymore. Thank you. Bye. Someone else will do it. Look, there's like 5 other congressmen talking about it right now today. So someone else will do it. I'm heartened and grateful that the bipartisan federal conservatorship reform legislation is being considered by Representative Christ. But the proposed legislation does not even contemplate the goal of the Free Britney movement, which is to free her from this unconstitutional and abusive conservatorship and hold her abusers and their co-conspirators accountable for their bad actions. The legislation contains factual inaccuracies about what has transpired procedurally in Britney's case in the findings section. If this part is confusing to you, I do encourage you to go watch my line-by-line read-through of the Free Act because I have a video on it. That this proposed legislation was ever referred to as the Free Britney Act for any reason is inappropriate and misleading to both the Free Britney movement and to the American public who relies on mainstream media for their news. Nevertheless, I have counted no fewer than a dozen instances of articles and op-eds referring to it as such since that Good Morning America segment. As recently as last night, that's what happened. Fox News called it the Free Britney Act and had Nancy Mace on, and I snapped. I was like, I'm sending an email in the morning. That proposed as recently as last night, Fox News published an op-ed referring to the legislation as the Free Britney Act in the title and thumbnail. This confusion is exacerbated when Representative Crist himself is quoted in interviews saying that this legislation would free Britney, since, as you are aware, it would not. Remember, we read it? Oh, it would free Britney from her dad, Jamie. 3 is something there is more important than arguing about who is the leader of the Free Britney movement. That is getting her freed. That is the main aim. I agree completely. Exactly. But listen, I don't care. Y'all don't have to call me a leader at all. If these emails end up in my email box, I'm going to say what I'm going to say. And maybe I don't need to be a leader if that's the case, because I'm going to say what needs to be said. And I am going to be speaking truth to power. So it's especially misleading to the American public when Representative Crist is quoted in interviews saying this legislation would free Britney, since, as you are aware, it would not. Even if the bill were relevant to our goal and did address the reform we are so desperately begging for, your cited reason for changing the name of the legislation is insulting to the movement, to me as a women's and disability rights advocate, and to Britney Jean Spears herself. Britney's fans and supporters have devoted probably millions of cumulative hours to researching this case, often at great personal consequence and expense. We are lawyers, doctors, judges, social workers, therapists, accountants, and more. We have uncovered public evidence of possible financial crimes in the hundreds of millions, unimaginable financial conflicts of interest, torture, abuse, trafficking, drugging, exploitation, coercion, extortion, and possibly even attempted murder, which evidence has been further supported by Britney's sworn testimony twice. If that isn't serious enough for the halls of Congress, I fear we may have far bigger issues in this country than this conservatorship case. I'll just let y'all sit on that one for a second. Yep, exactly. No, I've never heard of democracy now. I don't know who the Free Britney leadership is, Helena, but it ain't Free Britney America. That's for sure. Okay. So basically, I basically tell her, we good enough to use in the media, but not good enough. If it's not serious enough, look, if all this stuff isn't serious enough for the halls of Congress, I fear we're going to have a lot bigger issues than just this one conservatorship case. If Congress doesn't want to actually address all of this stuff right here. Look, No fewer than 5 of Britney's federal constitutional rights were violated at the onset of this fraudulent conservatorship. She was tricked, lied to, put in a state-sanctioned involuntary psychiatric hold, forcibly medically incarcerated for over a week. During that time, her father and his lawyers lied to the court and said Britney had dementia at 26 years old. No capacity declaration has ever been filed in court to support that allegation. Nevertheless, Britney has been quite literally trafficked since the day those court documents were filed. She even hired an attorney to help her fight it in 2008, and the judge kicked that lawyer out of the courtroom and appointed her own choice of attorney instead. So I guess, I'm just going to tell her what happened in Britney's case, so maybe she can fix her little stupid law, which she has not done. Thank you so much, MM. Love you too. You emailed Rick on July 2nd to meet the, quote, Free Britney leadership team. Rick then introduced you to some of the most dedicated and knowledgeable people in the entire movement, literally the leaders. But weeks later, again, y'all, I don't want to get into who's leaders, who's not leaders, but it is, use your common sense. These people that Virginia met were referred to as the leadership team. She referred to the leadership team. She saw them on New York Times documentary. Like, it's not like a stretch to call them a leader. That's kind of my point. It's a stretch to call Cassandra a leader because she just appeared into the Free Britney movement on July 8th and no one ever heard of her before. So that's kind of what I'm trying to say. Weeks later, the July 20th press conference you coordinated, despite using the movement's name, momentum, and the attention that they worked so hard for, did not feature or even mention them. Instead, your team featured a Cassandra Dumas, who I CC'd, a woman with no previous involvement nor contribution to our movement, none of us who ever met before this month, and as our apparent representative. She is the spokesperson of a group that started a Free Britney Instagram account and a website this month. So her appearance in the press conference as the face of the Free Britney movement was similarly misleading. One could be forgiven for assuming your team simply wanted a supportive quote from the Free Britney leadership team, so it would appear that the Free Britney movement was behind the misleadingly named legislation in order to boost the public support for your legislation, especially in light of the fact that you explicitly asked if Britney Spears, who has testified under penalty of perjury that she's currently afraid for her life, would be willing to provide a soundbite or appearance for your press conference. Y'all can tell I got mad. Y'all can tell I got mad at that. Farms, and now they're moving to real life trolls. Exactly. Okay. Fans and supporters have been ridiculed and humiliated publicly, laughed at, targeted, and even sued for their advocacy on this matter. It is a slap in their faces for a federal employee who quite literally drafts legislation to imply that because the legislation pertains to a hyper-feminine, purportedly disabled pop star who happens to be a woman, that it isn't serious. Adding insult to injury, you said you'd still refer to it as the Free Britney Act publicly. I would really appreciate your elaboration on exactly what about this case isn't serious enough for the halls of Congress. I think the public deserves to know that answer, as well as it might lead to a discussion on true reform. My suspicion is it wasn't actually the reason the name of the bill was changed, and had more to do with the misleading nature of the title when compared to the text of the now twice revised bill. I'm hoping you can provide some clarity there too. Now, y'all are not going to be surprised to know she never responded to this email, but she did follow me on Twitter. To be clear, Cassandra Dumas does not represent the Free Britney movement, and neither does Free Britney America. I have received disturbing threats from a member of this group whose name remains on the newly created website. Now, no longer is this the case. This was an old email. She yelled at me, this was Erica, in a rage that I have no idea who they are. She said, you have no idea who we are. You have no idea who we are. You try to use your little law degree against us, but you have no idea who we are. I'm like, okay, girl, chill out. Like, I believe in the Second Amendment. Don't come around here. I have no idea who they are when she began questioning this bill publicly. She went further to say that they all knew who I was and everybody knows about me. Again, I'm scared. I'm reading this stuff publicly to let y'all know. These people, I don't know who they are. And they even told me, you have no idea who I am. Good point. I don't. But they all know who I am, she said. Well, that's a little scary. What, y'all sit around having chit-chats about me? She was right about one part, though. I do have no idea who they are. And after speaking with the Free Britney leadership, and I said that because that's who they referred to as the Free Britney leadership team, and I did speak with them after that. And when I spoke to them, it seems none of us actually really know who these people are. It is strange to me that this team seems to have such a direct line to you, Congressman Chris and Congresswoman Mace. Regardless of my suspicions, a group that lies about other advocates and directly threatens advocates who say things the group doesn't like is not what this movement is about. And such a group should not be put in a position to apparently represent any of our ideals on national television. Do you have any insight into why it is that the communications regarding this bill have come to the Free Britney movement through Cassandra, Patrick, Free Britney America, and Rick, rather than through the people who you were introduced to as the movement's leaders? Do you know who Erica Gutierrez is? What about Dylan? He is another of the group's members who seems to be the only one with any involvement in the movement prior to this press campaign attempting to associate us with this legislation. He seems to be suffering from extreme mental and emotional distress arising from his association with the group and our valid criticism of the bill, and I'm concerned for his well-being. He is being put forth to run interference when questions are raised about Cassandra's role in the process and about this legislation. It seems he has been assigned to run interference on the detractors' reasonable questions about the group's origins, but I can't help but notice his personal email was absent from the email chain. Do you know why that is? I do see that Cassandra and Patrick were included. When I began publicly opposing the bill that, 1, financially incentivizes more conservatorships with hundreds of millions in federal funding, 2, has no oversight, accountability, or diversion mechanisms, and 3, does not actually free Britney, Cassandra posted a black and white video about cyberbullying from the same location where she appeared in the press conference with you days earlier. In this black and white video, thank you, Naseeb, thank you, HM. In this black and white video, she read a script containing lies about me and my prior involvement in the movement. When I asked the group to remove the video and provided factual evidence disproving the lie, they refused to do so. They told me that I had to remove my tweets in which I questioned where this team came from, what their motivations may be, and whether any of them were being financially compensated as lobbyists or supporters of this bill. To my knowledge, Cassandra has still not publicly stated explicitly whether she herself is a lobbyist, whether she is being paid for her lobbying to the movement or media, nor whether she stands to gain any compensation or benefit in connection with the outcome of this legislation. In this black and white video, she took the opportunity to accuse me of preying on the uninformed members of the Free Britney movement who get their news from social media. Had she been in the movement for longer than 3 weeks at the time, sorry, someone's calling me. Had she been in the movement for longer than 3 weeks at the time, she would know that too was a misstatement. On the contrary, the Free Britney movement is extraordinarily intelligent and educated. They do not need me to tell them that this legislation won't free Britney. They do not need me to raise questions about how this miraculously connected lifelong Britney fan who never tweeted about Britney once before June 25th, the same day that the first draft of the bill was drafted, just materialized a couple days after Britney's testimony. Or about how she somehow has access to international mainstream media and 2 members of Congress within a month of her first appearance. A visibly frustrated Cassandra instructed her Instagram followers to reach out to the Free Britney America team to suggest changes where we see they need to be made. There is no reason for that. Social media is where life happens. It is not unserious or unprofessional for a citizen and voter, especially one with knowledge of the law, to publicly oppose a federal statute that he or she disagrees with. It's democracy, and in this case, it's life and death issues on the table. That said, it is apparent that many of the recipients copied on this email disagree with my using social media in this way, so I am memorializing my thoughts and concerns here in a medium in which they may be more comfortable. You state in your email below that while the name isn't serious enough for the halls of Congress, y'all are going to publicly be referring to the legislation as the Free Britney Act. I can only assume that this is the reason why the media continues to do so as recently as last night. Please let this email serve as a formal request for you and your team, including Cassandra and Free Britney America, to instruct media to stop referring to the proposed legislation as the Free Britney Act and to cease from doing so in the future. For reasons outlined above, it is misleading and inappropriate. I would encourage you to continue speaking with Free Britney team in LA to familiarize yourself with what has actually happened in Britney's case. They've actually put in the time and research required to familiarize themselves with the case and are trusted voices within the movement. I would also recommend you continue liaising with Lisa about the true changes needed for conservatorship reform, as she has spent years as a litigator in the probate courts that have failed Britney. This is an important issue that needs serious attention and reform, and I'm optimistic that y'all will be able to come up with something better than what is currently proposed. The solution is not more conservators, especially those who would be perfect strangers to some of our country's most vulnerable citizens. The solution is consequences and accountability. Should you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me at this address. I would include my phone number as well, but given the massive uptick in threats, harassment, and apparent hacking attempts that I have received from suspicious anonymous accounts on social media lately, I am refraining from including further identifying information in this forum. Thank you for your time and continued attention to this matter. I look forward to your reply. And that was basically it, and nobody ever contacted me about anything else. So that's that. So what y'all think about it? I think for Free Britney, let's see. Free Britney leader, hyperfemme. Is she a drag queen? I think I've seen her show. I have seen this theory before, Gretchen. Whether, Rick couldn't infiltrate our movement effectively, so he just created his own group. I've seen that theory before. Gretchen says, one wonder whether Cassandra was trained and placed by Black. The threats she used are familiar. The tactic of intimidation also very familiar. I'm shocked you ever had to go through all this. Yeah, this was all going on in the background. Like, I'm not scared. Like, that's the thing. Like, I am a little scared, but like, I'm not scared enough to just not say anything. So I don't know. If I turn up hurt or missing or something, like, it wasn't me. I hope he learns about how much you fought for her. I do too, Kelly. I do too. Anyway. Okay, so apparently Rosengart like filed some documents. I've also had several people like call me during this several times. So let me go see what drama I done popped off. And you're rocking. Have any of the other actual Free Britney responded to this? You need some support. No, I never got any response to this email. Oh, actually, that's not true. I did get a response. I'll show y'all the response I got. Let me find it. I will show y'all the response I got because it's very scary and frankly threatening. So before I get off, let me find this response I did get. Because only one email address did send me an email back from this, and this was what they sent back. And let's see. Let me find it. Sorry. I wasn't going to read this, but like, why not? Why not? If the person who sent this email is on right now, they're going to be so mad that I'm reading this. Thank you, Julie. Okay, let's see. I'm just going to like try and do a save as PDF. So I'm not showing all my stuff here. Okay. So this is the response. I have it up. I'm just about to share my screen now. Okay, so this is the response I got. Confidentiality notice. This email message, and y'all gonna learn something about the law today too, because there's no such thing as a confidentiality notice whenever the thing that you're talking about isn't actually confidential. You actually both, like, you have to enter into a contract for confidentiality. So whoever Free Britney Spears now 2021 at gmail.com is, you probably should have used your real name. You probably should have gotten me to actually agree to a confidentiality notice before you said all this, because now there are going to be thousands of people on the internet that see you try to bully me. I do. Oh, KTS, thank you so much. So KTS says they were in a similar situation, bringing light to Child Protective Services shenanigans and their associations with human trafficking. You amaze me. I wish I had an ounce of your grasp on toxic systems. I face threats, attacks at all. Here for you. Continue to post live so we have tabs on you. By the way, went to Penn Social Work School. Awesome, fellow alumni. Thank you, KTS worker, for your tip and your story. I will definitely be here. Thank you very much. Yeah, so Gretchen says usually this confidentiality notice is at the bottom of an attorney letter. And this is why people don't mess with me, because I actually have an idea of what's going on. I can tell they literally just put this on the bottom of, like, copy pasted this from the bottom of some attorney's email and then like changed it a little bit. And it's like, okay, this is not legally binding. So you're literally just being a bully. Thank you, Luis Sanchez Martinez, for the $5. Okay. So, Britney vs. Spears trailer is out. We should watch that too. Okay. So here's their little confidentiality notice, which is not binding legally at all. This email, especially because, like, who am I being confidential to? Free Britney Spears now 2021. Who even is that? Rick Black? I don't know. Cassandra? I don't know. But you'll see this email was clearly written by like several people because the verb tense changes. It's like the pronouns change too. It's like we, they, she, him, us, her. It's like, girl, pick your perspective, sweetheart. Hello, BJ. If you continue to slander, spread misinformation, and or harass people you mentioned below in your email, further legal action will be necessary. Okay, let's go. Sue me. Let's go to discovery. I'll get to depose you, and then we'll get to see if all the things I said are true or not. So let's do it. If you have an issue with any one of them personally, please reach out to them directly or consult with your attorney to do so. No, I can talk about people that are affecting legislation, sweetheart. Otherwise, your constant reaching to slander these people will result in a legal action. Which legal action? So you can tell somebody that wants to be a lawyer real bad wrote this, but they don't know what they're talking about. You don't say result in a legal action. You say will result in legal action. Hopefully whoever wrote this is taking notes here. So your next fake threat will go over a little better, because this one, you're seeing live how that went over, right? As a smart lawyer that you are, you should know this. Well, I do, and that's what I'm explaining right now. As a non-lawyer that you are, you should, I guess, not know that. Then they say your desperation is becoming a nuisance, not only to members outside of the movement, such as Congress. Well, look at that. You're telling me that the members of Congress are not in our movement. So why are you having a live tonight that asks them how they got involved in the Free Britney movement? You're telling on yourself, baby. Members outside of our movement. And also, I would love to be a nuisance to Congress. I consider that to be my role in society, to be honest, because what they're doing in Congress right now ain't working for the American people, baby. So I will continue to be a nuisance to Congress until they are doing their jobs, which is working for we the people, honey. But to those in the movement. Okay, well, listen, if you're in the movement and I'm a nuisance to you, y'all know where the block button is. You do not represent the movement. Did I say I did? Did I ever say I represented the movement in that email? Did I ever? You aren't the leader. Never said I was. And there aren't any leaders. Okay, well, then why did y'all refer to the Free Britney leadership team over and over and over and over again? Because it's like, okay, there's leaders when y'all need there to be leaders for your little media propaganda agenda. But then whenever somebody checks you, steps to you, all of a sudden there's no members, no leaders. So y'all need to go ahead and figure out, is there leaders? Is there a leadership team, or is there not? There's leaders for the Free Britney Act, but there's no leaders for the Free Act, because like some things are too serious. Some things aren't serious enough for Congress. It's like a weird puzzle that I just can't figure out. And I definitely know it's not a problem with me figuring it out, because I have very good figuring out abilities. It's a problem with how their messaging is being presented. It's very confusing. So I'm becoming a nuisance to Congress, which, like, honestly, life goal, like, leveled up, like, all of that, like, love it. Thank you. You aren't the leader, and frankly, there aren't any leaders, as you tried to imply in your email below. Well, baby, why were y'all going back and forth about the leadership team? If you feel there is, you should announce it on your Twitter. Well, checkmate, bitch. Here I am announcing. Here's my announcement, everybody. I said there was leaders. Ooh, everyone come get me. I'm so scared. Like, that's what they're trying to, like, announce it on your Twitter. Like, y'all are not going to be able to use the things I say against me because I haven't said anything wrong. It is common sense that people outside of this movement believe that Kevin, Meg, Leanne are the leaders. Tez Babs are leaders. That is common knowledge, and it is common sense. Whether or not they are is not a discussion that I'm trying to get into. But they definitely said leadership team on their little email, and now they're trying to use it against me. This is gaslighting and psychological manipulation. Why are you saying there's leaders? Well, because you said there was leaders. If nobody said leadership team, I wouldn't have ever had to address it. Y'all see what I'm talking about? Yeah, they're making up who the leaders are and throwing in some random. Exactly. I'm so glad y'all see this for what it is. Anyway, should announce it on your Twitter the way you always do everything else. Well, here I am. I'm sure the movement, look at them trying to use this against me, would be very interested in hearing that you are claiming to be part of a leadership in the group. Again, I just read y'all my whole email. Did I claim to be part of leadership? No. In fact, in my email, I actually said, don't come to me with your crap. I said, I would encourage you to continue to familiarize, speaking with Free Britney team in LA, to familiarize yourself with what has happened in Britney's case. Look, I didn't even say, come talk to me. I didn't even say I was a leader. So again, it's just them trying to like bully me and scare me into thinking like the Free Britney movement is going to be mad at me because I mentioned a leader. Well, I don't know who the leader is, but I know for sure it ain't Cassandra Dumas. Okay. I am sure the movement, look at them trying to scare me, would be very interested in hearing that you are claiming to be a part of a leadership in the group, which I never did. So not only are they lying, right? Lie, this right here, y'all know my lie. I'm going to put that in purple. That's a lie. I didn't say that, but you see, they're already trying to twist the narrative to assassinate my character just in case I start to get too big for my britches, right? Again, there are no leaders, and you do not own any one person in the movement to try and discredit them or control them. Do you have to own someone to discredit them? I mean, this is just so weird. Like, I really think a straight white man wrote this, but like, I don't know. Thank you, Nassib. I definitely am going to post. I'm definitely posting this. Also, the claim that someone threatened you because they yelled at you and told you don't know them and who they are is not a threat. It is a fact. Well, I mean, facts can be pretty threatening. You are a public person, not only on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and this is what they don't like, but YouTube with thousands of followers. And this is why they don't want to get me involved in their stuff, because I tell them. So it is factual that many know who you are. Using someone's angry response to your demands is not a threat. Well, she sure isn't a part of that group anymore, is she? Your claims are worthless. Well, I'll let y'all be the judge. Are my claims worthless? Are they worthless? You might not agree with all of them, but I don't think they're worthless. Do you believe that giving names of 2 members of Congress will have them investigate these people on your behalf? Did I say anything about an investigation? It's just like they're just throwing stuff at the wall and hoping to confuse me. It's almost entertaining. Well, it doesn't seem like you're entertained. Free Britney Spears now, 2021. You are looking very desperate and deranged. That's fine. I don't care how I look. Just listen to what I say. And if you can prove it wrong, then I'm wrong. But again, they're trying to assassinate my character, make me think that they're going to make me look deranged and desperate. I am desperate. Thank you, Nichelle. I am desperate. I am desperate for the powers that be to listen to us. I am desperate to have the laws completely followed that already exist in this country. I am desperate to abolish the system of human ownership in this country. I am desperate. So if I seem desperate to do those things, you're right. And that's not something that I'm ashamed of. And it's not something I'm sorry about. I am desperate. And I might be a little deranged. Baby, I got autism, ADD, all kind of other stuff I got to take pills and potions for. So maybe I am a little deranged. But am I lying? Thank you, Nichelle. Thank you, Nichelle. Like, am I lying? I might be all those things, but am I lying? I might be all those things, but am I lying? While many feel your passion for the cause, your passion has turned into a vicious vendetta against many who support the same thing you do in this movement, just as equally, if not more than you. How can you know that? It's just all just words that don't mean nothing. It seems like you've lost your sense of reason. Again, trying to make the disabled autistic woman seem like she can't reason. This is softball. I've been facing these allegations my whole life. Free Britney America took down their Instagram video to be cordial. Yeah, because they were lying about me. Not because they were scared of your legal threats, as your name was not once mentioned in the video. And this is what they do. They make videos about people and then they don't mention their names to gaslight you. Like the other day, somebody posted a picture of something I said on Twitter and she was like, Exhibit A, look what the lawyers are doing on Twitter. And then I said, what's wrong with that? And she goes, I didn't say anything was wrong with it. So if you think something's wrong with it, that's on you. It's like, okay, bitch, that's exactly what you were implying. Just like here, Cassandra went in that black and white video, which I'll go ahead and post because I still do have it. I'll go ahead and post that too on Twitter at some point and Instagram at some point, where she's kind of talking about like people cyberbullying her, blah, blah. Thank you, Nasibe. All this stuff. And it's like she was clearly talking about me, but she never directed any of those issues to me or with me. And then whenever people said, you're talking about that surprise witness, she was like, your name was never mentioned in that video. And it's like, yeah, y'all, okay, do better. All of us were born and raised on the internet, boomer. We can figure out who's talking about us. We know what a subtweet is, sweetheart. So they can at any time repost it or post anything with similar content without your permission. Again, like, so I'll keep lying about you and everyone will know we're talking about you. This is a threat. This is a threat. This is, I don't know, like some sort of type of extortion. I don't know, like I don't know if they're going to try and sue me, but I hope they do because IP addresses are discoverable in litigation. And who's going to sue me? Free Britney Spears now, 2021, baby. You're going to need a name. That don't say that on your birth certificate. You're going to have to need a name to sue me. The only claims that were true of your tweets were Patrick's recent findings. Okay, so now they're about to tell me I'm bullying a child sex predator. However, due to the disclaimer on the forum where those screenshots were taken of Patrick and his offense, it states the following. Okay, so this also another lie. I'm going to make this purple because I did not post from the Virginia Police Department. I posted from a national sex registry of sex offenders, and it has no such disclaimer on it. So go check your facts one more time, non-lawyer. Try it again and come back again because it's not going to work on this time. So on the police, it says information provided on this site is intended for community safety purposes. And it's my opinion that Free Britney movement is a community, and we do have young children in this community, and it's a completely online community. Now, this person was a registered sex offender for crimes, cyber crimes, like possession of child, you know what, images. And so because of that, I'm trying to protect my community and tell my community, which has children and minors in it, that this person is in fact a registered offender. Should not be used to threaten, intimidate, or harass. Never, ever have I threatened, intimidated, or harassed anyone. I was informing my community, our community together, that there was a convicted predator in the midst. Several people, including yourself, have used this to harass and intimidate. No, I haven't. And it will be looked into. Okay, well, y'all had 2 months to look into it. What'd you find? Oh, probably found that I was able to do that, huh? As far as Cassandra, you have claimed she came out of nowhere and discredited her to Congress. Okay, well, she did come out of nowhere. Did anybody on this forum look? How about y'all leave a comment below if you ever heard the name Cassandra Dumas before July 8th? Because by July 2nd, they were already talking about this free act. So if you ever heard Cassandra Dumas before July 8th, 2021, please comment below. Thank you, Kelly. Canadian neighbor, your fellow Americans are so lucky to have you. You're an inspiration. Keep fighting the good fight. That's so nice. Thank you, Kelly. That is so nice. Okay. This is ultra chaotic. This email sender is a joke. I know. Why did they think this would work? Because this is how listen, y'all. I was like a citizen out here, like trying to participate in democracy on social media, and this is what they did. Like any person who's not a lawyer receiving this email would probably be scared out of their mind. It would be terrifying. Look, nobody's ever heard of her. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. So, okay. As if you have some leverage over her in this movement. Well, I do, because people actually know who I am. And I've actually like taken a lot of personal like hits to like be a member of this movement, and I've like been around for a year, and I've like met people, and people know who I am and like where I came from, and you know, I'm not like hiding anything, and when I have disagreements with people, I actually like reach out to them. So I mean, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I would think I do have a little more leverage over somebody in this movement who just showed up and all of a sudden had Congress connections. Regardless of how long or how soon someone entered this movement, the fact that you turned this into some sort of competition screams jealous rage. Okay. It sounds like a man who hates women wrote this email. I'm sorry. It just definitely sounds like a man who hates women. Just because somehow she was able to reach Congress before you did. Well, how did that happen? It seems like Rick Black might have been the one putting her in touch with Congress. I'm sorry that you are not the only worthy and powerful person in this movement. Did I ever say anything about worth or power? Because I don't remember saying anything about worth or power. Thank you. Thank you, Heather. It does sound like Free Britney Live. But the fact is you are not. And I am so happy and grateful that I'm not the only worthy person in this movement. This is like the most educated, the most compassionate, the most brilliant, the most hardworking, and frankly intelligent group of people I've ever been able to be a part of. And I went to the best, law school, arguably top 5 law school in the country. So yeah, I am not the only worthy, powerful person in this movement. And thank God for that. Welcome, everyone. Just because another very intelligent woman who is good with speaking to people, is she though? Comes in and unintentionally steals your light, right? No one is talking about stealing light. What did I say about in that email? I said, y'all calling this the Free Britney Act is misleading and inappropriate, and you need to stop. I said, Cassandra, interestingly, came out of nowhere, even though that's not who y'all were introduced to as the leader. I'm just curious as to who this person is. Did I say stealing a light? Did I say unintentionally, intentionally stealing a light? Nobody can steal my light because, baby, nobody do it like Surprise Witness do. So there is no stealing light. We all have our own light. You cannot steal my light. You are not going to physically, you cannot steal it. There is no stealing my light. So nobody does it like me. There's other people that do a lot of stuff better than me. I can't steal their light. There's other people who do stuff different than me. I can't steal their light. So nobody's stealing my light. But this is just like, obviously, like someone in a position of power who's not used to being checked, who's trying to diminish me, who's trying to pull me down. Ha ha, your light got stolen. You can't steal my light. There is no stealing light. I am never going to be able to have light stolen from me until y'all put me in the ground. That does not mean she has zero validity to what she has to offer. Did I say that? Erica and Dylan have been in the movement before you ever came along. I don't know if that's true. They were fans before you were. In fact, it has been said that you weren't even a Britney fan and that you did this to further your career. Okay, let me tell y'all something right now. A, I wasn't a Britney fan. I didn't come into this movement as a Britney fan. Now I've learned about Britney and I think she's really cool, but I wasn't a Britney fan. We don't need to be a Britney fan to see a human rights violation, to see some unconstitutional abuse going on. We don't need to be a Britney fan for that. But again, it has been said. Been said by who? By you. Thank you, Leanne. Been said by who? You did this to further your career? Well, let me tell y'all about furthering my career. My Britney advocacy has directly interfered with my professional career in a way that it has worked to my detriment. I have faced negative career consequences because of my involvement in the Free Britney movement. And I will be talking about that when, after the hearing, Jake is coming back to my house and we're going to be filming the whole entire thing, exposing names, talking about Team Con, talking about them trying to come to my work, talk about them trying to make me not basically keep talking about certain things. And we're going to be making videos about all that. The only holdup about that right now is literally, I just want Jake to help me edit the videos to make it a more cool story for people to watch, because I want everyone in the whole world to know how attorneys have been silenced. But I'm going to tell you one thing. This movement has not furthered my career. In fact, it has hindered it. And hopefully karma comes around and everything works out in the end. But all this right here is just more of them trying to scare me. They were fans before you. You weren't even a fan. So we're like, don't y'all just get from this like, and we're going to go tell people you weren't a fan. Now, this could all be alleged information from others. No. Yeah, this is definitely alleged. But this right here, I was not a fan before. I wasn't a fan before. All y'all know that. That's not a big secret. I'm not ashamed of that. They're trying to use stuff against me that they think I could be ashamed of, and I'm just not. There's no shaming me. To gain followers for clout. I don't need followers for clout from your stupid little making fun of this little girl. I don't need it. There's no need. There's no need to put someone else down for clout unless they're actually suspicious. Y'all see, I love collaborating with people. I love uplifting other people's research and work. I love it. I love it. But not when it doesn't align with the Free Britney movement. Not going to free Britney. Nadia, I've never seen you so passionate as you are right now. This is like more like how I normally act. But I know, like, whenever I get worked up like this, people use it against me. They're like, she's aggressive. And it's like something I always have to try and keep a lid on. Your legal threat tactics will not work. Okay, well, that's rich coming from the people that put this at the top of the email. Okay. Just like, your legal threat tactics will not work. Okay, well, if you defame me, I will be pursuing defamation charges. Either do it or don't. Okay. Big mad person, but stop coming at any one of us any longer, as you do will be considered harassment. Okay, well, fortunately for me, the law actually has definitions of harassment, and like commenting on a congressional bill and perhaps lobbyists is not harassment. So try again. This is not a threat. We are kindly. Does this email seem kind to y'all? Are they kindly doing anything? But again, it's like we are. Who's we? Who is we? asking for the last time that we no longer accept our names being mentioned for your gain or entertainment purposes on your social media platforms. Well, here it is, y'all. I mentioned, what you gonna do? If the harassment continues with our names coming out of your mouth, we will have no choice but to proceed with some form of legal action. Well, good luck figuring out which form it's going to be, because y'all all getting deposed. And I promise you, it's going to be a lot more fun for me than you. Regardless of your assumptions of who these people are in the movement, where they came from, or how long they've been active, you have no authority over them to demand or harass them for information about who they are. Please refrain from continuing to do so. So that was the response I got from them. So that was, honestly, I'm not even going to lie. When I first got that email, I was like a little bit scared. I was like a little bit like, but at the end of the day, like, sue me. Okay. Like, I'm so tired of all these friggin' empty threats from people. Okay, let's just do it then. Let's just go to court. And I'm gonna make an Instagram live every single night and a YouTube live every single night about my experiences and everything that y'all do and how y'all silence people, because I feel like everybody's just so scared of these lawsuits. Why? For what? I didn't do anything wrong. This is our democracy. This is our public servants who work for us. So sue me. Sue me. Anyway. The cat, okay, she is like an emotional support cat, and she knows when I'm worked up, so. Oh, what'd you get what's right here? What happened? Okay, she got a little mark, little boo-boo. I've said I wasn't a fan. There's nothing. Yeah, exactly. If people are behaving like this, yep, poke to the bear. And I'm going to keep poking the bear, because what has the bear ever done for me? What has the bear ever done for the average American person? Nothing. I hope they're watching. Girl, you know they watch it. Okay, so tonight there will be a live with Virginia Poe's boss, Charlie Chris. Oh, thank you, Sinora. Please give a quick summary of why you've gotten this email, who it's from. I just popped in. Love you, BJ. Basically, it was like emails with Congress and stuff that I wasn't originally a part of. And then I went ahead and replied and basically said, who are these people? This is clearly someone trying to hijack the Free Britney movement. I don't know where they came from, stuff like that. And then as a response, I got that email that I was just now reading, Sonora. And thank you for sorry, forgive my ignorance. What's a knock? I want to know where everyone's from and what these currencies are. No one innocent will behave like this. You are all up in their SH and they can't deal with it. Exactly. So tonight they will be, Congressman Chris and Nancy Mace will be on this Instagram account that I am putting in the comments right now. And it is my opinion that we are allowed to ask questions of Congress because they work for us. And in particular, if you are from Florida or South Carolina, you should absolutely make an attempt to be there, because those are your Congress people, House reps. So make sure you're like in their actual district or whatever, but they are your House reps. Oh, Norwegian crowns. Oh, cool. Thank you. That is exactly what it is. A hijack, known as a column attack, used as long as time. Exactly. A big group comes in. All of a sudden it's we. All of a sudden it's trust us. We have these connections. And then all of a sudden you don't have a movement no more, baby. Start again. I'm just not letting it happen. Netflix trailer is out. Should we watch it? Where is it on? I might try to pull it up real. Oh, okay. Top 2 or 3 questions you should ask are, I don't know how you should word them, but one question that I'm curious about is, which lobbying organization was behind the original draft of the FREE Act? Who dropped the FREE Act on Charlie Crist's desk? Who drafted the first draft of the FREE Act? Now they're going to say Virginia did it. She worked with somebody, and I want to know who it was. Okay, someone sent me a DM on Twitter. Okay, thank you, Isabella. I'm going to look. Is your name on Twitter, Isabella? I'm going to look. Exactly. Marcia Southwick. Exactly. 501c3s cannot lobby. It is basically illegal. Yes, they need a C4. Exactly. The AWN network wants me to watch the Netflix trailer on live. Yeah, y'all just tell me where it is. But low child. So one thing I want to know, who drafted the Free Act? Another thing I want to know is why there's no accountability measures in the Free Act. Why is it more important to give money to caseworkers and conservators? Why can't that money instead be allocated to a relief fund to pay for lawyers, right? Like anything else that would actually help conservatorship victims. Why is it going to more? Why are we federally funding more conservators? And I guess the third question is, why doesn't this act have any accountability or consequence mechanism for bad actors? We already have a lot of laws that get broken every day in the probate courts, and nothing happens whenever they're broken. So how is this going to make it any better? How is this law going to make it any better? Did the court doc drop? Let me look at the court docs too. Just let's see. I'm going to go to LA court. I know this isn't on my screen. I'm just looking it up. There's nothing new on the court documents, so I don't see anything there. Let me see if I can go to Instagram. I'm trying to see where the Britney trailer is. The page crashed, someone said. Oh, let's see. So there's nothing new on the there's nothing new on the court documents. Right now, I'm looking for Netflix to see if we can watch this live together. No more secrets. Okay, here we go. So let me pull this out. Let me pause it. Okay, so we have 1:18. Oops. Okay, hold on. I'm going to make this big. Okay. I'm only doing this because somebody said, like, watch it live with us. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, let's see. Share screen. Window. Okay. So there we are with that. And then let's go to the window. Oops. Let me unshare my screen. Okay. Hold on. Sorry, Trish, trying to watch this. I have it up somewhere already. Let's see. Here it is. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Can y'all see it? I should have gotten it up before, but it just came out while I was live. Okay. I want to make it bigger though. Can y'all see it? Oh, let me take down this thing. Okay. Everybody's saying the trailer was good. Okay, I'm trying to take this down, put this up. I'll eventually become good at streaming, y'all. All right, here it is. Here we go. I'm just going to watch it with this stuff up because I don't know how to make it like a full screen thing. Wait, play.
To me, this confidential report. Britney had
about anything.
Okay, here we go. Live react.
Britney's been silenced to speak out about anything that's really going on.
Britney's never had one person she could trust. Not mom, not dad.
Britney had a fear that her family would barge in and take everything.
What was going on inside the conservatorship? And why was she still in one if she was, quote, okay? There was financial incentives for Jamie, for the lawyers.
I've represented dozens of conservatees in court. Not one of them has ever had a job.
Britney made other people a lot of money.
I've worked my whole life. I don't owe these people anything.
Woo! Woo!
No one would talk.
I'm not going to acknowledge that I was ever brought in to evaluate Britney Spears.
Until they did. Someone very close to the conservatorship leaked me this confidential report.
Britney had to go into court a million times, and all of these hours of criticizing her.
It's an epic fail of the legal system that this has gone on for so long.
How
True.
do you get out?
You don't get out
You don't get out.
until you scream.
Yes.
I deserve to have the same rights as anybody does.
Free Britney! Oh my God. Okay, well, that was that. I don't know why I just get so hyped whenever I see like us, like, because like all of this other stuff. Listen. Okay, I have to go. Like I have all kinds of things to do today. Also, 4:00, go to Sloan's channel. We're going live. We'll probably be talking about this, but I do want to just talk about this little trailer. Okay, I very, very, very much trust the opinion of Jasmine, who is Violet Wolf on Twitter. I very, very much trust her opinion, and she is very knowledgeable. She has called stuff before me over and over and over again. Over and over again. She has said things that turned out to be true. So she does think that this is probably going to be a bust, this documentary. So I do take her opinion very seriously, and that is the main reason why I'm kind of like, oh man, I don't know. But I will say, like, that trailer just gave me chills, and hopefully they just go ahead and just do the just do the whole full No More Secrets thing. Apparently Lou Taylor is friends with people at Netflix, so maybe they're not going to be talking about it. Someone is now calling me from some weird Louisiana number. Okay, I gotta go. But this was fun. Noted Your Honor's Twitter posted a snippet of the filing, by the way. So apparently the filing has snippets out. I'll go look for that. I may be live on this channel again later. I think I wanted to go today. I was planning on going live on another congressional email type of situation with a guardianship reform activist where she's been working with a totally different office, a totally different congressperson, and she was going to go live with some of those emails too, totally different situations. So we may be doing that tonight. We may push it back to later. I have lots of things going on, lots of things happening. I will be at the hearing on September 29th, God willing. And thank y'all for hanging out. It's already, wow, this is like one of my longest lives ever, but I think this was a really important one. And we'll be going live about the filings probably today if they come out. Talk to y'all later. Facts ain't defamation. If something happens to me, it wasn't me. Talk to you later. Love you. Bye.